This is WPIX, New York.
This was the scene at Yankee Stadium on Friday afternoon as a near record over 55,000 showed up for the Yankees home opener against the Cleveland Indians. All eyes were on this man, Don Mattingly, as he made his first appearance of the 1989 season. But he wasn't the big story. Joe Carter was. First inning, Carter launches this pitch from John Candelaria to center field. Roberto Kelly gets a glove on it, but when he comes down, the glove hits the top of the fence. Bingo! 3-run home run for Carter, and the Indians are off and running to a victory over the Yankees on opening day.
Hello there, everybody. Live on the New York Yankees Baseball Network, WPIX presents the 1989 New York Yankees.
Hi, and welcome to Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, New York, as the sun is setting over the skyline of New York City. It was a beautiful day in New York. The forecast for tonight calls for the opportunity and the possibility of some precipitation. But we're here to bring you the Cleveland Indians against the New York Yankees in Game 2 of this series at Yankee Stadium. Hi, everybody. Along with Phil Rizzuto, I'm George Grand. And Scooter, the Yankees go with the future today, and that is Al Leiter, a young man who they really count on to be one of the bright stars of this 1989 season.
Well, he's got all the tools, George. If he doesn't get the blister that bothered him last year and he gets his concentration down, he could be as good or better than John Candelaria. And Candelaria pitched the game well enough to win last night, except for that one ball that dropped over the fence.
1-3 is slow start so far.
But not too shabby, because I think the American League East is going to be so well balanced this year that if the Yankees bounce back, win a couple in a row, even get to 500 and stay right around there till Winfield gets back and Mattingly all the way, I think they'll be in good shape.
Mattingly all the way is going to be a big key as we look at this 1989 season. As you know, Don Mattingly did not start the season with the New York Yankees. He remained home in New York while the team went to Minneapolis as he was trying to get over a bad back in the opening days of the season. Well, he was back in the lineup yesterday, and while he is still not 100%, Don Mattingly is ready to play. We asked him what he is doing about the bad back.
Well, not doing a whole lot, just besides stretch, and that's the thing that I guess I got a little lackadaisical on, and it's kind of the toughest thing for me to do. Is something that they want you to do 2 or 3 times a day, and it kind of gets monotonous after a while, and you're feeling good, and you're feeling like, well, I don't need to stretch, and all of a sudden you're hurting again. So it's something I feel like I've learned a lesson as far as I need to stretch every day to continue to be able to play.
You're also talking about build muscle strength to try to stop it from injuring again. What are you going to do on a regular basis?
Well, they're kind of different on that. They'd rather just say stretch, 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 and keep it loose, and instead of trying to build the muscles around it. I think the abdomen is important as far as keeping strength there, but for the most part, it's constant stretch.
What do you feel like at the plate right now?
I feel pretty good, really. I feel like I had some offensive swings yesterday. I had good takes. I didn't really get fooled on anything. I got out front on a ball or two, but I haven't played in 8-10 days, and I can't expect to be swinging perfect, but I do expect to be on top on the ball, and I feel pretty decent, really.
You changing your philosophy, trying to go the other way a little bit more, or just trying to go the same way?
Trying to stay the same. I'm just trying to basically what I did this spring and this winter is try to find myself a base to work from and stay there instead of trying to make so many changes. And I feel like it's been successful for me, because this spring I feel like I found a place to hit from that I could just work with every day, instead of coming to the ballpark. And a lot of times in the past, in spring training, you go there and you hit the ball good one day. The next day you come back and you try to find the same thing, and it doesn't feel right again. So I try to find myself a basic place to hit from and just stay there and work within that, an inch or two here, or you work with something one way or the other, but staying with one basic thing.
This team, 1989, after 4 games, can you assess what this year is going to be like?
It's hard to assess what this year's going to be like. We are definitely a new look club. We are not the same type club as last year. We walk out of camp with Clark, Washington, Winfield, myself. All the guys looks like everybody's going to go crazy, and it doesn't work for us. This year, I think we're a little more balanced as far as speed is concerned. I don't think we're quite as dangerous. I think Dave, we losing Dave hurt us, because he's a force in our lineup, and But I think we got a good club. I think we're going to surprise some people. I like to see us play well early and stay in their space, not fall out and lose confidence early. I think if we can keep ourselves winning and keep ourselves right in the thing, you know, and then let ourselves gel together, I think we got a good chance to surprise some people.
Stay healthy. Well, there you have it, Don Mattingly, as you look from our camera high atop behind home plate at Yankee Stadium. Mr. Mattingly has not given up on this season quite yet, and good reason not to, because he looked a little better in batting practice today, too. And a lot of hopes and a lot of aspirations are resting on this man's shoulders, number 23, as well as Al Leiter, the young man who will be pitching tonight for the New York Yankees. Let's check the opening lineups of tonight's game. Leiter will be pitching for the Yankees. Of course, Al had a pretty good spring when he had the opportunity to pitch at 100%. He'll be facing a lineup that will begin with Oddibe McDowell, the left fielder, leading off. The rest of the lineup will begin to look somewhat like the Texas Rangers, because when things started, this is a club that made a deal that brought 3 people over from the Texas Rangers. Jerry Brown is his second baseman. Joe Carter, who hit the big 3-run home run, will be in center field and bat third. Another Ranger, Petey O'Brien, will be hitting fourth and playing first base. And Corey Snyder, the right fielder, will be hitting in the number 5 position. The top of that lineup won't change very much at all for this team during the course of the 1989 season. Willie Medina will be the designated hitter. Brooke Jacoby will be playing third base and batting in the number 7 position. Allenson will be the catcher, hitting number 8, and Felix Fermin will be the shortstop again, hitting in the number 9 position, all facing Al Leiter. For Mr. Leiter, during the course of spring training, he posted a 1-2 mark with a 3.82 ERA during the 33 innings that he pitched. Al, of course, is regarded as one of the keys for this 1989 season for the New York Yankees. And to take you through the play-by-play as Oddibe McDowell steps in, here's the scooter, Phil Rizzuto.
All right, George, thank you. A very interesting interview with Don Mattingly. And I'm happy that he was able to speak so freely about what he's doing and how he's preparing himself. Holy cow, now there's a pitch that I thought was a strike, and pitchers like to get that to start a ball game. I'm very superstitious. A lot of pitchers are too. First pitch, they want to get a strike. Oddibe batting 167, and there's a strike, 1-1.
Al Leiter looked pumped when I talked to him earlier today. He watched Candelaria pitch yesterday. He thought he learned something from Candelaria's game, and he also thought he has a pretty good feeling about this Cleveland lineup. We'll see how it unfolds, but I think he realizes this is a year for him to prove that he belongs.
Oh, he's said that so many times. Slider a little high.
Checking the umpires for you, John Hirschbeck will be behind the plate tonight. Larry Barnett over at first base, Dale Ford at second, and Greg Kosk, who was behind the plate yesterday, will be at third.
All right, George, and you can see the change in Leiter's style and delivery. Last year, everything he threw was trying to be 95, 96 miles an hour. He's trying to get better control now and vary the speeds on his pitches so that they don't get set in time over. He's behind on the count now, 3-1. Good pitch. 3 balls, 2. That's a pitch that's so difficult to hit if he gets control of it, George. It just rises at the very last instant when he keeps it starts at about belt high.
If you talk to hitters around the American League, the 2 pitchers that they fear in this Yankee pitching rotation are Al Leiter and John Candelaria.
Right. Got him! Holy cow, that's that pitch we were just talking about. And now that's going to make a big difference, Joe. They just see him rub his hands and say, all right, let's get to work.
There's been a lot of pressure on this young man when he first came up. Anybody starting in New York, it's not an easy road to hoe, but I think he feels that he learned a lot from last year with the injuries and everything that went wrong, and I think he's ready to put it into work with Billy Connors, the pitching coach, and Dallas Green, his manager, who's a former pitcher.
Right. Well, he's very happy with Billy Connors and his methods of teaching pitching. Here's Jerry Brown, and he takes a strike on the outside corner. And one thing you'll notice when Leiter is on, he doesn't throw a ball that's straight. Everything either dips to the left, rises, or sinks sharply to the right. And that's a tough pitch to hit there. He usually pop it up or miss it. 0-2. Now here's an interesting situation. Last year he'd get ahead 0-2 and groove one. See him just work on the header a little bit. They got to be a little leery and swing at pitches that might be out of the strike zone. That wasn't too bad. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
I think that's his philosophy too, to try to get ahead and then nip a little bit at the corners and make somebody go for it.
Right. Straightaway center, and Roberto Kelly right there makes the catch. Roberto's still having nightmares about that 3-run homer by Joe Carter that he said was almost the greatest play he's ever made. Would have been.
It would have been. I don't think he has anything to be ashamed of.
No, but he realizes that he had it, and then when he saw the replay, and I don't think they made him pay to patch the fence up because he got a big divot. He's the guy that hit that home run.
That was the first divot in the fence of this year, right? He put a good gouge in that center field fence, but it's all repaired today.
Joe Carter. Oh, man, that ball looked like dipped down a little bit.
I tell you, though, you talk about turnabout as fair play, because Joe Carter said today that he had about 4 like that where he was robbed. Kirby Puckett took 2 from him. Ricky took 1 from him, too.
Yep. Low and away, 1-1. That change of pace that lad has been working on. But Dave Winfield used to, there's that spot. You see that kind of whitish spot about 1/3 of the way up. And Roberto, good pitch in on the hands. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
I think the feeling is on Joe Carter, if you can, you try to stay away, and then you try to come in tight to him. If you can come in tight, maybe you can handle him. If you have a fastball that can do it, Leiter does.
Because if you don't, he can turn on it.
He can hurt you.
Really cream it. 2 out, nobody on. Popped him up, and under it is Brookins at third base. Shortstop's going to get mad, but he makes the play. You got to stay out of that shortstop's territory. 3 up, 3 down, middle of the first. It's the Indians nothing, and the Yankees coming to bat.
Find him, Scooter. Participating advertisers in New York Yankee baseball are Budweiser, Beechwood Age for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you. 9X Yellow Pages. If it's out there, it's in here. Canon. So advanced, it's the world leader in 35mm photography. And by the New York Yankees. Welcome back to Yankee Stadium. The Yankees will lead it off with a lineup that at the top you expect to see for most of the year against Greg Swindell, who already has a victory under his belt so far this year. He's 1-0 in the season. Ricky Henderson will lead it off. Remember, all he needs is 1 more home run as a leadoff hitter to best Bobby Bonds for the all-time record in that. Steve Sachs will be the second baseman hitting second. Don Mattingly is back at first base after DHing yesterday. That leaves room for Steve Balboni to go up against the left-hander. The right-handed hitting Balboni will hit in the cleanup position. Gary Ward gets a shot today out in right field. Don Slaught will be the catcher. Tom Brookins will be playing third as Pags gets to sit. And Alvaro Espinosa will be the shortstop, and Roberto Kelly will be playing out center field and hitting in the number 9 position, Scooter.
All right, they got a tough man here in this Swindell. In his last start, as you mentioned, he's 1-0 with that 1.08 earned run average. Did not walk anybody in 8 1/3 innings and gave up just 6 base hits and the 1 run.
They've had pretty good pitching so far in this early going of the season, and that figures to be one of the keys to their success to stay in contention in the American League Eastern Division. We'll get another look at somebody tomorrow who figures to be a key, and that's Tom Candiotti. Candiotti's had a little bit of a sore arm, but if Swindell continues to pitch this way all season long, remember last year he started out 6-0, then went 10-1. There's Tommy Candiotti charting the game today. Some teams chart, some don't. The Yankees don't chart under this regime, and Candiotti does chart for the Cleveland Indians.
He does, and he's a guy that can put you in a slump with that knuckleball. But here's a guy, Ricky Henderson. Ricky batting .308, 4 for 13. He has a double, looking for his first RBI of the year. And 5 stolen bases. That's what the Yankees missed in the last couple of games. Ricky getting on and scoring early in the game. They've been so successful with Ricky scoring in that first inning.
I think the key for this team this year, they're not going to hit a lot of home runs and have the big 3-run home runs. They have to get production and people on base with Henderson and Sachs early.
Right. Hits the inside corner, 1-1. There it is, as you mentioned, 35 career leadoff home runs, tied with Bobby Bonds for the Major League record. So Bobby, who is not an active player anymore, 2 balls and a strike.
Although you never know with Bobby. I see him take some batting practice.
He looks good. He looks like he could still play. Still in good shape.
His son Barry with the Pirates, one of the blossoming young stars in Major League Baseball.
Yep. 3 balls and a strike. That's like the Griffeys now. I think this is the first time. Is it not, or am I wrong? That the father and son are playing in the big leagues at the same time.
Playing at the same time. There have been a lot that have played, but not at the same time.
3-2, right.
Kenny's such a fine man. He was here, of course. He's been a lot of places, but everywhere he's gone, he's left a good imprint as a person, not just as a baseball player.
That's right. All right, 3 balls, 2 strikes on Ricky. No score here in the bottom of the first. And he popped him up and might be out of play. Let's see if O'Brien's got room. Yes, he does. Comes back, and there's 1 man out. We told you that Swindell did not walk anyone in his first game, and right there, even though he came close, he got the 3-2 pitch over.
They went 18 innings before they issued their first walk this year, and that's certainly something that Mark Wiley, their pitching coach, wanted to work on, just like Billy Connors is trying to work on with his club too. Don't give the offense anything that you don't have to.
That's right, and it's so, the percentage is with you if you let them hit it. How many guys hit 300? How many guys hit 250? It's more apt to make an out. Here is Mr. Sachs, and he takes a strike right down the middle.
Hasn't it seemed like about every other time Ricky gets up, he's going 3-2?
Yep. Oh, they work on him. Steve Sachs takes strike 2. Sachs hitting just 188, 3 for 16. He's got a double and a triple and 2 runs batted in. And he, like Henderson, has to get on to give the Yankees something to work with. And he's trying to go to right field, fouls it off. Cool night here in the Bronx. Get a look at this. See that inside out swing? High right on the ball. Low, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
You're not always sure when somebody's trying to go the other way, but you could tell by the swing and then by his eyes. He's looking out and say he's got a pretty good hole in right center field because they're playing him to hit that way, but tight against the line is Snyder, and Carter is shading a little bit towards right.
And Carter is very deep. And he bounces one to the right side. Tough hop, but he makes the play. Good play by Jerry Brown. 2 men are out. And now Don Mattingly, you'll hear it. So Don said he was not fooled by any pitches, and he was not too happy with popping up a couple, but so he didn't swing at any bad pitches.
Hit 3 balls in the air yesterday and walked. Did get a walk out of the day.
Ball 1.
And Don is one of those players that just plays, and he doesn't want to complain, but I think all of us that watch him know that he's not 100%, but he's going to play through it because he knows his team needs him.
Yep. Strike 1. I bet you 99 times out of 100 he'll take that first pitch for a strike. Keep looking.
You'd think you'd rather have him swing a little bit, wouldn't you?
But he's such a good hitter that really doesn't bother me. But he took one right down Broadway. See, he knows that now. He might have been looking for something there. And those good hitters, I remember Ted Williams telling me and Joe DiMaggio, they'd look for a curve. If they didn't get it, they wouldn't swing. They didn't want to look there. But then when they got 2 strikes on them, they wouldn't guess. Ball and 2 strikes on Mattingly. Oh, what a quick bat. That ball was almost by him. If he hit, he might have dunked one in left field for a base hit.
There are some people that just love to hit, and Don Mattingly is one of them. If he had nothing to do all winter long, he'd still be in the batting cage, and that's exactly what he enjoys.
Well, he was fooled on that one. And a one-hand catch, and they get him. They just nip him. So the Yankees get down in order, and at the end of 1 full inning, it's the Indians nothing and the Yankees nothing.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the New York Yankees and WPIX and is intended solely for the private, non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the written consent of the New York Yankees and Phil Rizzuto is prohibited. Go get him, Scooter.
All right, George. George did a practice run through that and then made it perfect. Pete O'Brien takes a strike on the first pitch from Al Leiter. O'Brien hitting 182. And fouls it upstairs out of play, 0-2.
Here's a man in Pete O'Brien that Doc Edwards is so happy to have, not for what he does only along the first base bag, but because he's such a great addition to the club. When he left Texas, when he was traded from Texas, they had a Pete O'Brien Day there in February before he actually left town. That's how much the community loved him there.
Yeah, I tell you, he's easy to like and easy to watch play. Curve just high and tight. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Leiter's jumping ahead of the hitters.
Yep, which is the best thing anybody can do, especially a young pitcher. And ripped a base hit to right center. And O'Brien, had he been hustling, might have had himself a double. That grass really held up that ball. Kelly playing deep. So there's the first base runner in the ball game. First base hit.
Should tell you that we did have rain in and around the metropolitan area overnight. The infield's fine, the outfield's fine too right now, but we are expecting more precipitation to move in tonight, and hopefully we'll be able to get it in before it does come.
I hope so. Here's Corey Snyder. Snyder hitting .273. So Leiter now will pitch from the stretch for the first time in the ball game. High, ball 1.
A year ago, Snyder hit over 300 against left-handers, hit .342, hitting only .253 against right-handers. If you can get him, people usually try to get him with the heat up high. He'll chase the high fastball.
Yeah, that's when he did strike out an awful lot. He's laying off it a little more. There it is, the pitch you talked about, George.
He has struck out a lot, over 300 times the last 3 years, but he at least has chipped away at it a little bit.
It's up. He just can't seem to handle that pitch up around the letters.
You throw that at 88 and he has it, but when Leiter's over 90 or Clemens at 95, you can't touch it.
So it's good to see Mattingly back. He was a DH last night. He's playing first base tonight. Almost went after it, a little too high. 2 balls and a strike.
Hey, you know, people talked in the offseason about the possibility of him being traded, and I don't.
Who?
Don Mattingly.
Number 23 right there?
I don't care
way.
who you got for Don Mattingly. There'd be no way in the world I would ever let him out of my grass.
Couldn't justify that trade. Popped him up, and it might be playable. Mattingly, nope, not quite. Holy cow, did he get it? No. And heads-up play by O'Brien, who tagged up. And had he caught it, would have been able to go to second.
That's with the bad back and all,
I just
right?
want to say, watch this. If he had the glove in the left hand, he might have gotten it. Nope, didn't quite. That guy there with the jacket grabbed him.
Go get him, Scooter.
Yeah, I should. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
O'Brien's been through that before as a first baseman. He knows what Donnie just went through.
But normally the Yankee fans would make room for Mattingly. If it was O'Brien, they'd tackle him, do anything which you're allowed. Oh, there's that high pitch. That was way out of the strike zone. Strikeout number 2 for Leiter. That's the advantage you got when you got that little extra heat. You don't have that much time to make up your mind to swing or not. Look at what,
here it comes, there it goes.
He missed that by 6 inches. Watch. Swings right under it. No way.
You look at it when it left his hand, it took off.
Yep.
I mean, that's the velocity, and now they say that balls cannot rise as you throw them, but I tell you, if you've ever stood at the plate, I'd have to disagree with that.
There used to be sports writers, George, that said the curve was an optical illusion. Ball 1. I like to see them get up there and try and hit it. Here's Medina. He strikes out a lot.
Who's the best curveball pitcher you ever faced?
Tommy Bridges. Now that goes back before anybody can remember. He pitched for the Tigers. Back with Schoolboy Rowe, Bobo Newsom, all those great old pitchers. Uh-oh, curve foul, we're in trouble. It's foul. We're out of trouble. But that, he hit, I think, 4 homers off the Yankees in the last week of the season on balls right there And yet he strikes out. How many times? He struck out a lot.
Struck out over 100 times in the minors last year. Struck out 107 in the minor leagues, and then came up and struck out a lot last year at the end of the year too. But you give it away if he's going to hit the long ball, and that's what he's been doing.
Yeah, they're getting up. They know it's got a shot if it stayed fair, and the umpire running down the line.
John Hirschbeck and the bench of the Indians is saying, stay fair, stay fair. Not quite Carlton Fisk going down the line, but he was hoping, right?
Didn't use enough body English. Good curveball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. He struck out 3 times in yesterday's ball game, Medina.
You try to jam him inside, and again, you try to get him to go for that high fastball too, but you make a mistake with him or Snyder.
Yeah, that's where that pitch was not quite high enough for when he hit foul and far. Ooh, that was almost it. He just barely got a piece. So Al Leiter, born in Toms River, New Jersey, 23 years old. And it says he lives in North Caldwell, New Jersey. I thought he was still down the shore someplace.
Catch up with these guys, you know. Could still have the other house, and maybe has a new one too.
I don't think he's in that money category yet. He's looking to get there, though. 1 good year. Oh, good. That was a tough pitch. I tell you, the way Medina moved, he might have blocked the umpire out on that. He moved into the ball. Looked like it might have had the inside corner. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
It's early, but Al Leiter looks focused tonight. He looks like he has a purpose with every pitch, and that's something that if he continues to do during 89, should put him in pretty good shape.
And that's what he said. He lacked last year, the concentration on every pitch. Oh, good one. He got, holy cow, he didn't have a chance at that one. Man, was that a sharp breaking pitch, George?
Go after him inside, and that's exactly what Leiter did. And when you have tools like Al Leiter does, that breaking ball is a little bit better than a normal breaking
ball. Yes, it is. I mean, that was a tough one. He was handcuffed. And strikeout number 3 for the young left-hander. And the batter now, Brooke Jacoby.
You talk about different stances. Here's Brooke Jacoby, who's had 3 or 4 different stances the last couple of years.
Ripped to right field deep, and that ball is off the wall, and they got a chance to hold the runner from scoring, and they do. Holy cow, that ball jumped out there. Normally to the left about 50 feet over, there's like a wind tunnel. You get it up there and it just carries right into the bleachers or in that runway, but that one.
Can you believe you only got a single out of that?
Yes, I can. I don't think anybody thought it was going to go that far, and I don't know whether O'Brien was watching it or whether Jacoby was watching it. That was his first hit of the year. Let's watch it. Got out there in a hurry.
Good job by Gary Ward. It takes the kind of bounce, hits the seam, bounces right to Ward. Ward hits sacks. Good relay. Hit the cutoff man. Gary doesn't have the greatest arm in baseball. He's lost a little bit of that zip, but he does what you have to do is hit the cutoff man, and they saved a run.
Right.
Simple things, little things that make the game of baseball work.
And that's what Dallas Green has preached all spring and right up to tonight. Now, that's the first time I've ever seen a ball hit off the right field wall and held to a single. At Fenway Park, you see that a lot.
It's the old Ernie Lombardi trick, right?
Yep. Alan Anderson, the catcher, takes a strike right down Broadway.
And here's another hitter that figures to go the other way, go to right field. Jacoby's really changed. He used to pull the ball every once in a while, and the last half of last year and the beginning of this year, he's been going the other way. Allenson almost always goes that way since he restructured his stroke.
Not hitting for power. He's not a power hitter anyway. At third is Pete O'Brien. 2 men out, and there's strike 2. See, he wanted to go to right field that time. Was on the inside part of the plate, and he couldn't pull the trigger.
Got frozen.
Yep, he really did.
What a competitor this young man is. I mean, a year ago, he led the American League catchers in games, errors, double plays, putouts. He's a future star in the league. He's really coming into his own.
Hard working. All right, 0-2 now. Leiter's got to put a little extra to get this guy out of there. Got him on a high fastball. Oh, man, did that take off. Leiter strikes on the side, sandwiched between a couple of base hits. And at the end of an inning and a half, the Indians nothing and the Yankees nothing.
Stadium in the Bronx, a little tidbit of information for you. Did you know that it once took 4 strikes for a strikeout because the call third strike was just a warning back before 1900? Now, I remember, too, that before 1900, when it first started in the 1880s, a batter could ask for a pitch in a location. And if he didn't get it, the pitcher had to throw it again. Baseball was sure different back then.
It was, but George, don't say you remember. Say you heard.
I read
once. Remember.
I read it once in a book.
You have had a drink from the fountain of youth.
By the way, how come you've never written a book?
They want me to, but nobody wants to read a book about
I disagree.
anything good.
I disagree.
Well,
you'd have a great story
we'll talk
to tell.
about it. If you talk me into it, I might do it. Here's Balboni.
Before the year's over, we will.
All right. Hit his bat. Oh, man. Look. Oh, man. He's running too long in one spot, Balboni. That's one man out. That's the worst way to make out. You wasted time at bat trying to check your swing.
This is when you feel cheated, when you end up doing this.
Yep. Takes him a little while to get started, George. Steve Balboni.
He works as hard as anybody to get down to first base. Just doesn't get there quite as fast as some people. But boy, talk about a work ethic. And I remember covering him at Columbus, seeing him there. He has really dedicated himself to get the most out of what God gave him, and I think that's a great testimony to the fact that he is where he is.
I tell you, he's not swinging the bat too badly since he's been with the Yankees. He's hit a couple of shots, got a couple of key base hits. Gary Ward has been up 7 times with 2 hits. One of them a double. And fouls it off in the upper deck. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Got a couple left-handers that are going to work tonight. They're both coming right at you.
Oh, yeah. Greg Swindell coming at you at a little different velocity, but they both come at you. I want to walk it outside. 2-2. Put the stopwatch on this. 3 balls, 2 strikes, so he didn't miss anything. The pitch was outside, but you don't mean to laugh, but it is, you see the struggling to get down there. Normally when he hits the ball a lot of times, he doesn't have to run. He just trots around the bases. 3-2 now. Swindell in danger of walking his first man of the year. But he doesn't. He strikes him out. His first strikeout. This was up a little bit, I think, George. Let's see. Just above the belt. Good pitch.
Got it a little bit inside. Couldn't quite get around on it. Just handcuffed him slightly, but enough to do the job.
All right, here's Don Slaught. Came through with a clutch double and drove in the only 2 runs for the Yankees in a pinch hitting role yesterday. And takes the ball.
Everybody talks about Roger Clemens and Calvin Schiraldi and the people from the University of Texas. Well, Greg Swindell was also from that Texas stable of Cliff Gustafson, and certainly is one of the, also number 21, like Clemens with the 21 on his back. But he came to the majors and he thought he could just get away with the fastball, and he learned a lesson.
Ground ball hit the short. Boy, I tell you, talk about these one-handed shortstops. They don't use the right hand. 3 up, 3 down, 6 in a row. He's retired. And on the Canon camera scoreboard at the end of 2, it's the Indians nothing and the Yankees nothing.
Back at Yankee Stadium, we're set to go to the top half of the 3rd inning. The Yankees nothing, the Cleveland Indians nothing. Is this a new look Cleveland Indian team? Sure is. They traded Julio Franco during the baseball winter meetings to the Texas Rangers, and in return got 3 of tonight's starters in Brown, McDowell, and O'Brien. And of course also involved in a trade right after the first of the year. Joel Davis came their way along with Ed Wojna for Eddie Williams. And you talk about trying to put things together. They didn't stop there. They went to spring training, picked up Joel Skinner and Turner Ward in the Mel Hall deal. And incidentally, for you Yankee fans who have followed Turner Ward, I was talking to Tom Giordano, who's directed their minor league operations and scouting. Ward fractured his leg last week. So he'll be on the sidelines for a while. It's unfortunate. He's a young man with a lot of promise.
And here's Felix Furman, who's got the count of 2 balls, no strikes on him. Good pitch. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Felix came over from the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Indians were after him for a while, but when Sid Thrift was the general manager there, Thrift wouldn't part with him.
Line foul down the right side.
After Sid left, and then the talk started, and it was Bell for Felix, and that was the deal, and they both ended up being starters. Bell's a starter in Pittsburgh. Felix is a starter over here. I never guess what his nickname is. Felix?
The cat.
You got it. That's good.
You got to be kidding.
Yeah, that's his
That was
nickname.
a wild guess. Little high. 3-2.
A little bit different than the other cat, the big cat over in Montreal, Andres Galarraga.
Oh, he walked him. Boomer breaking pitch on 3-2. So that's the first walk given up by Leiter.
Now you hate to walk a guy like this when you're coming into the top of the lineup.
Yeah.
Number one, if you look at the lineup, and he looked at Felix in terms of the 9 people that are hitting, he's the one that you figure you're going to get through.
Yep. All right, Mattingly holds the bag against him. McDowell struck out first time up. And he squares the bunt, takes a strike.
One of the things the Indians have worked with Odubie McDowell on, in fact, Bobby Valentine did even before he left Texas, was his bunting. Bunting for base hits first because of his speed, and also the ability to lay one down as a sacrifice. It's been a part of his game that's been lacking.
1-1.
To show you what kind of a guy Bobby Valentine is, too, even after the trade of Odubie McDowell during the winter, Valentine worked with McDowell down in Texas before he went to spring training to try to help him, to try to get him over the hump and back into the groove.
Good baseball man. Whoa! Now he had to move in a hurry there. 2 balls, 1 strike. Just had to get away from him a little bit.
Awful close. And incidentally, one news story coming out of last night, in case you missed it, Tony Fernandez, the shortstop for the Blue Jays, was hit in the right cheekbone by a Cecilio Guante pitch last night. He'll be out 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah, it's fractured badly. Foul out of play. 2 balls, 2 strikes. See, the Red Sox lost, and I don't know whether Clemens was the loser or not, but they lost 2-1. Bo Jackson had hit a home run in the 8th inning to tie that game up. That was the last score I heard.
They went 10 innings, and Eisenreich got a 1-out single off Rob Murphy in the 10th inning. That's what wrapped it up there. Clemens and Gubiza, they matched Zippos for a while today.
Foul just below us. Still 2-2.
Blue Jays, of course, will be coming in on Tuesday night, and we'll be here. But boy, they're going to look like a different club without Fernandez.
They say, well, they've touted him as the outstanding shortstop in the American League. Mattingly holding the bag. Got him again. Strikeout number 5 for young Al Leiter. I mean, he is mixing up his pitches. It's not all hard stuff, George.
He's learning how to pitch, and I know that he went through that last year, went through that period of time, and then this year, right from the start of spring training, Billy Connors worked with him and said, look, you got the heat, but you got to learn how to control the off-speed pitches, too, if you're going to be a winner. Not just a major league pitcher. We know he's going to be a major league pitcher, but Billy Connors wants him to be the best that he can possibly be. And I think he's been one of the projects that Billy's had so far this spring.
There he is right there with his hands in his pocket.
He's the guy that will get the credit, but he's the guy that will also get a lot of the grief this year when, as the Yankees try to put together a pitching staff that solidifies itself.
All right, Jerry Brown fly to center his first time up. 1 man out, no score, top of the 3rd. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Swings, a lot of misses so far in these first 3 innings by the Indians.
Used to be you'd come to spring training, Scooter, and the teams always looked the same. Oh, nice
They got him picked off. And Mattingly, I tell you, he does that better than any first baseman. He can move to the left or the right and miss the runner. And outstanding pickoff move. 2 men out. That'll go 1, 3, 6.
Indoctrination for Felix. He gets a look at Leiter's move, and it was the A move. It wasn't the B move, and he was off and running. They had something going, trying to get the ball through on the right side, but just didn't wait long enough.
Nope. Just when you think you got the pitcher figured, he doesn't lift the leg quite as high.
What did you key on when you were trying to steal, and you were one of the best base stealers of your day?
Yeah, I watched the front foot, and he runs up to bunt, takes it high, 1-on-1. Other good base stealers look at the knee. I'd look at that front foot.
I used to watch the hands on a left-hander too.
Swing and a miss, strike 2. The hands.
If you drop the hand, drop the left hand, then you are going to the plate. If you bring it up from your waist, you almost have to go to first.
See that quick move? That's what he didn't do on the other ones. And Furman thought he had him figured out. He was lifting it high and taking a little time, but that was a quickie. Got him! Holy cow, strikeout number 6. I'm telling you, this kid is getting more and more confident as he goes along. At the end of 2.5, it's the Indians nothing and the Yankees nothing.
This is not a fun evening.
Make believe you're in Paris.
Look at this junk.
That chunk is a meaningful part of my life.
What is it?
I don't remember.
Remember the Meadowlands?
Where we first met.
Excuse me.
Excuse me.
What's this? Let's do it again, Phyllis.
Oh, yeah. She paid $6.60 to place. Hey, my lucky binoculars.
Who says you can't go back again?
We won! We won!
Let's do it again, Phyllis! Oh, boy!
Want to take better pictures? Get the Canon EOS 750. The only autofocus SLR with a flash like this and a system with computers and motors in every lens. Here, try it. Try the zoom. Easy, right? Well, that's EOS.
Canon EOS 750. Photography, pure and simple.
Buy EOS today with no money down, low monthly payments at participating Canon dealers.
On September 2nd, after many frustrating years of watching Honda sell themselves, Danny finally had to call upon all his salesmanship skills to sell a car. Of course, it should be noted that this particular car was his own 52 DeSoto with a blown engine, 2 flat tires, and a crack in the windshield. Congratulations, Danny.
Yeah!
Honda, the car that sells itself at your New York, New Jersey, Connecticut Tri-Honda dealer.
Back at Yankee Stadium, we're going to the bottom half of the 3rd inning for the Yankees. Tom Brookins will lead it off, the 3rd baseman, followed by Alvaro Espinosa and Roberto Kelly. Some fans bundling up a little bit for tonight. It was in the mid-50s this afternoon, started to get a little more breezy as the evening progressed, and right now it's probably right about 50 degrees, upper 40s maybe, and it figures to be a little chilly before this one's over.
That looked for a minute like a football game was going on someplace there with the blankets.
You mentioned Kansas City and Boston. They didn't even take batting practice today. It was so cold there.
No kidding.
The snow is moving this way from Kansas City.
Oh, all right, here's Tommy Brookins. Brookins hitting 0-8-3 with 1 RBI, and he pops it up there in right field. Corey Snyder moves in under it. 1 man out. That's the first ball the Yankees have hit out of the infield, and that's 7 in a row now that Swindell has retired.
Dallas Green is looking out saying, what am I facing here? Am I facing the 1954 Cleveland Indians with Early Wynn and so on and so forth?
He's going to have to take himself out. There he is pitching batting practice. He's either putting them in a slump or making pitchers look so fat that when they get against a good pitcher, they can't hit it.
And look where he moves up a couple of feet, though. I said, you're coming in pretty good. He says, sure. That's because it's about 55 feet to Don Mattingly. Mattingly joked with him. He says, what are you doing? You're throwing me a little cutter in here. And he said, you're right. You know, he did. He was throwing him a little cutter.
Well, he was a pitcher in his day.
Sure.
Nothing to brag about, but he was a pitcher.
You know, but some of the best instructors are people who never really made it big.
Oh, they are. They always have been. They make the best managers. They know what adversity is, and when a guy has a bad day, they can sympathize with him, where these great ball players who had trouble making good managers, like Ted Williams, you know, they were great hitters. They couldn't understand why everybody couldn't hit like they did.
Interesting, the other day in Minneapolis, John Stearns, who's the bullpen coach for the Yankees, was kind of talking about himself and his career, and of course Dallas was interested in him in his career, and he said, you know, but I never really realized my potential. And Dallas stopped him short. He said, look, you were a 4-time All-Star. You did something that thousands of people want to do and never get a chance to do.
Ripped to right center. Snyder, though, with the glove up, makes the look at that. Heads up play by Carter to get out of the way so there'd be no collision. He just dove on the ground and skidded by him, and right near there is the drain that ruined Mickey Mantle's career almost.
Look at this cover by Carter. He's going for the ball, and it's not until that last instant that he realizes that Snyder is there. They've worked together now all of last year since they moved Carter to center field, and they're starting to feel comfortable. McDowell over in left is new to this outfield, but these two are starting to feel comfortable with each other.
They are. And here's the 9th hitter for the Yankees, Roberto Kelly. Kelly, who started off 4 for 4, but has not had a hit since.
I think we're looking at a Yankee lineup now that's saying, let's be a little patient, let's go the other way with Swindell and just try to get something going, as Brookins did, and that time Espinosa had pretty good wood on the ball.
Yes, he did. It's 0-2, and Roberto has had problems hitting that breaking pitch, especially the low breaking pitch.
Similar to last year, huh?
1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 out.
But here's the future right here.
Oh, yeah.
Roberto Kelly, if you give him a chance to grow, give him a chance to mature, and even the Indians were saying it after yesterday's game. He said, boy, he looks better than he did last year.
High fly ball. Snyder's going to make all 3 outs in this inning. And he does. So that's 9 in a row now. Swindell is retired, and at the end of 3, it's the Indians nothing and the Yankees nothing. Well, we're getting ready for the top of the 4th inning and ready to carry you along and see if we can get a few runs. But not for the Indians. George Grant.
Thanks, Scooter. Al Leiter's pitching a pretty good game himself so far, but Swindell has been El Perfecto in the early going. The Indians will send Carter, O'Brien, and Snyder to the plate against Leiter. Carter, co-captain for the Indians, of course, was the man who had the hammer yesterday, a 3-run home run. Always has the smile. Well, what a pleasant young man. He is not only a great ball player on the field, but in the clubhouse, an exceptional one. Popped out to third his first time up. Takes a ball. Joe Carter and Mel Hall were the closest of friends, not just in Cleveland, but before that in Chicago, so they've been commiserating the last 2 days. Leiter tries to go in tight on him, but just inside this time, and the first time that's how he got him. That ball in on the hands. Carter can beat you a lot of ways. A bullet down the left field line, but foul. He can steal a base. He can hit the long ball. He can make a great play in the outfield. This is a man who's a first baseman, but he's been playing center field as if he's always been.
Yep.
2-1. Al Leiter. Just a little inside. 3-1. Not the ideal place to be with a man that swings a bat like Carter. Mattingly is there and will take it unassisted.
Well, I like that. I mean, he got right in front of that. If it did take a bad hop, it would have hit his chest or his shoulder and still been able to throw him out.
You know, it's fundamental baseball. Some first basemen don't like to do that because they say, oh, that's a little league play. But if you can keep it in front of you, you're saving the ball.
Yep. And then he makes a smart thing and runs over, so there's no throw, any chance for Leiter to drop it.
Leiter to Pete O'Brien. O'Brien wearing number 9 as a Cleveland Indian now. Ground ball to second. Sachs should have that. There's 2 down. Let's check the scoreboard tonight. A couple of games in the afternoon in the American League. Milwaukee was a winner over the Detroit Tigers by a final score of 5-2. Johnny August gets the win. Tanana takes the loss. Danny Plesac gets a save in that one. Dave Engel had a solo home run there. Kansas City beat Boston. We told you about that one, 2-1. Aquino gets a win. Rob Murphy takes the loss. Chicago beat Oakland 7-4. They had 25 hits in this game. Those are the only finals so far. We'll be keeping you up to date on the rest of the scores during the course of the evening. 1 strike on Corey Snyder as Leiter comes at him high again, and Snyder swings and misses on the first pitch. In the National League, Montreal beat the Mets 3-2. Harris gets the win. Cone takes a loss. Burke gets a save there. San Francisco and Cincinnati rained out. Strike 2, 1-2 on Snyder. The Cubbies and the Pirates 5-3. The Chicago Cubs beat Pittsburgh. Schiraldi gets the save. Bielecki gets the win. Heaton takes the loss. How about that? Some high heat from Al Leiter. To the dugout he goes, and after 3, the score: Indians nothing, Yankees nothing. After 3.5.
Thank you very much. Thank you, John.
Well, as we look at the Yankee Stadium upper deck from our roof camera, we have a trivia question. Can you name the first Yankee to play in every game in a 162-game season? And there are very few players who have done that, Yankee or otherwise. And we will give you that answer later on.
Give me a hint?
Yes, I'll give you a hint. He's a lay preacher in the off-season.
Oh.
Well, not too many people know that.
Uh-huh. The Yankees will lead it off with Ricky Henderson at the top of the order, followed by Steve Sachs and Don Mattingly against Greg Swindell. Ricky 0 for 1. Popped out to the first baseman in foul territory his first time up. Swindell falls behind 1-0, but Ricky's been looking at 1 full count after another in the first week of the season. Comes inside 2-0. You know, one thing yesterday, after the 3-run home run by Carter, John Candelaria just slammed the door on the Cleveland Indians, and you would hope that when that happens that the offense would see that and pick up a little bit and try to get things turned around. I know Dallas Green was hoping they would. They'd see what kind of an effort he made and try to pick up the but just couldn't do it till the 9th, and they fell a little short.
He actually pitched very well enough to win most any ball game.
Candy said today, I knew I was in big trouble after Carter hit the home run, and I said it's like I woke up all of a sudden. 3-0.
Oh, I like that.
Got a base runner.
First walk in 2 ball games, and his big one. That's the guy you want to see on there.
Henderson has 5 stolen bases in the early going of this season, and this is the combo that you like to see working for the Yankees when you can lead off the inning with Henderson followed by Steve Sachs. Sachs has worked very hard at going the other way and protecting. Sachs is a fastball hitter, and with Henderson on base, it figures that he'll receive a lot of fastballs during the '89 season.
And he gets a slow curve. How do you like
ball,
that?
Right?
He kind of quick pitch right there. But I tell you, this kind of situation really shakes up shortstop, second baseman, the catcher. You really got to be on their toes.
Steve grounded to second on a 1-2 pitch his first time up. 0-1. Henderson leads. No go. Inside, strike 1. Just gets that inside corner. Strike 2. Just gets the inside corner. He, I think, was looking for the fastball over the plate a little bit, and that's exactly the book on him as Ricky approaches another milestone from the base paths. It's hard to pick someone who's more dangerous in the game of baseball than number 24 in the pinstripes. 0-2.
Ooh, he laid off a tough pitch there.
1 and 2. We're in the bottom half of the 4th inning. There's no score at Yankee Stadium. Yankees and the Indians. Ground ball to second. Can they get 2? You're not going to see that very often. Steve Sachs doubled up on the play by Jerry Brown, and Fermin turns it nicely at shortstop.
Well, as you said, he tried to go to right field and got the good wood on it, but hit it right at the second baseman.
You don't see that too often with Mr. Sachs.
Nope. There'll be a lot of eyes, George, on Jim Abbott tonight of the Angels making his debut. The kid with the little handicap of not having 2 complete arms and hands.
Born without a right arm, but right hand, but boy, he has turned what some people would call a handicap into something that really has been a plus for him. He just is such a competitor.
It's unbelievable the way he does it.
1-0 to Mattingly. Ball 2. Donnie grounded to short his first time up. 2 down. Bottom of the 4th. No score at Yankee Stadium. Mattingly playing first if you're just joining us.
All right.
Line shot right field. And he's got his first hit of 1989.
Man. You'd love to see that. That's the stroke. Boy, that bat is really fast when he... And that pitch yesterday, he might have popped up. He was getting the uppercut. This one, he chopped right down. Now watch this one.
And you talk about the difference. He was 2-0. He could look for that pitch. You mentioned it the first time up. When you get in front of the count, you can look for a pitch, and as Williams or DiMaggio would do, lay off it if it's not the one you want. Steve Balboni will come up for the Yankees with Mattingly off first. Breaking ball in tight. Ball 1. The man they call Bye-Bye. He used to hit a ton at Columbus. Then when he came to New York, they changed Bye-Bye to he was leaving and going back to Columbus. He gets his licks.
Well, he did have a good rip at this one.
Feed him off speed. And then give him a fastball.
Right, but that's the one that gives him a little bit of trouble, up and in.
1-1. Mattingly on first. Swindell takes a little off. Ball 2. Sid Thrift said when we got Steve Balboni, we came a couple of percentage points better than we were the day before. Jams him inside again. Steve is happy to have a second chance in New York. His wife's family is from the New Jersey area, so he's happy to have a little touch of home back here, too. Foul back. Count stays at 2-2. 2 out. Bottom of the 4th inning. The Indians, no runs, 2 hits, no errors. The Yankees, no runs, 1 hit, no errors. Swindell into the 4th before he gave up the first hit of the evening to Don Mattingly. 2-2. Fly ball, center field. But Carter will have room to keep it in the park. That'll do it at the end of 4 at Yankee Stadium. The Indians nothing, the Yankees nothing.
Well, as we look in from center field, remember the trivia question? Can you name the first Yankee to play in every game in the 162-game season? Little Bobby Richardson.
You got that right off the bat.
Yeah.
You didn't even have to flinch to get that one.
Well, you know why? Because at one time, I was the last Yankee to get 200 hits. And then they had a trivia question. Who was the last Yankee to get 200 hits? And it was Bobby Richardson. So no longer am I a trivia.
No, you're much bigger than trivia, Scooter. You dwarf trivia. That's why you have to write the book. So there can be more trivia, right?
Okay.
Okay? That's one reason. Willie Medina, the DH, leading it off for the Indians here in the top half of the 5th inning against Al Leiter. Leiter giving up 2 hits so far. Skies this one to center field. Roberto Kelly loses the cap but gets the baseball.
I wonder if Roberto knocks his cap off, because there was no reason for that cap to come off. He was coming in very slowly.
You know, Mays, wherever he went for a ball, would lose his cap no matter what. But some athletes just do that.
And if they don't lose it, they knock it off intentionally because it looks good. Looks like you're hustling.
Today you got a little bit of everything. You lose the cap. You got the gloves hanging out of the pocket.
Yeah.
Guys look in the mirror before they leave the locker room to make sure everything's on okay. Brooke Jacoby swings and misses at the first offering from Al Leiter. Talk about a guy who would like to forget 1988. His average from 87 went from 300 to 241. His home runs 32 to 9, and his RBIs 69 down to 49. The only good news from last year for Jake was he had a career low 10 errors and played a solid third base. We started to talk about it last time in his changing stances. There was a time 2 years ago that he used to attack the ball, was a little more aggressive, would pull it once in a while, although his power still wasn't down the line, but he almost always has been going the other way in the last part of last year and into this year. 2-1. This was a fellow who was mentioned in a lot of trade rumors during the offseason.
Yes, he was. Matter of fact, the Yankees were mentioned too, along with Jacoby.
2-2, 1 out. We'll go full. And in fact, even the Indians were mentioned with the Red Sox when the Wade Boggs controversy popped up. You have to figure Lou Gorman is going to find a way to come up with another left-handed pitcher somehow. Leiter loses him, and the Indians have a base runner. That'll bring up the catcher, Andy Allenson. 1 out, top half of the 5th inning. We are scoreless at Yankee Stadium. Second game of the weekend series, and of course, don't forget, Tuesday night, we'll be by with the Toronto Blue Jays and the New York Yankees. Dave LaPointe scheduled to be the starter for the Yankees on Tuesday night. Tomorrow should be Tommy John and Tom Candiotti here at the stadium. Ball 1 to Allenson, and Leiter losing the range. He was one of the leaders, was Allenson, in statistics for American League catchers last year. Starting to come into his own. Defensively. Offensively, still to reach his potential.
A lot of these guys are a little late with their swing. With the ball must be exploding just a couple inches from home plate.
It's got movement. You can even see on the replays. It's got a little movement. You know, people talk about the jugs gun and how hard somebody throws. It doesn't really mean much if the ball doesn't move.
That's right.
1-1, 1 out. Runner's not going. 2-1. Allison's a player that can put the ball in play to the right side, so it wouldn't be surprising to see Jimmy Davenport, the third base coach, put something on. Jacoby has average speed. You don't expect him to steal outright. 2-1. Leiter's going to make a check C. First base umpire Larry Barnett trying to stay warm and keep up on the play too. No go. Foul back.
I think Jacoby might have missed a sign because Allenson went after a bad pitch trying to hit it to right field. He looked a little upset when Jacoby did not go.
Allenson had that down in the grass
yes,
look.
Yes, he did.
I just wasted a swing.
Sure, you give yourself up.
You're leave me in the hole. Except in Andy's size, and you know everybody's afraid of what he might be thinking. 2-2, 1 out. Jacoby on first, not going. Pop down the right field line. We'll see if Ward can get to it. It's fair, and it's into the stands, which would be a ground rule double.
It's a funny play. I thought Ward had a shot to get that, and he slowed up and stopped. Maybe he thought it was going to bounce foul, but
you know, the wind right now is blowing very hard from the right field line towards center field, and that might have kept that ball from going into the stands or from going foul, certainly, because it was only about 1.5 feet from the line. The wind right now is blowing pretty hard towards center field, so could have been a factor in that one. So just like that, The Indians, with 1 out, have runners on second and third. And Felix Fermin will come to the plate. Felix, his first time up, walked and then was picked off first by Leiter.
I hope they play the infield in to cut this run off, because every run seems going to be very important. Any run, I should say, in this ball game. Make them earn it.
Leiter to Fermin. Inside. Ball 1. Mattingly on the grass on the first base side. Brookins 2 steps past the grass on the third base side, and Sachs and the shortstop Espinosa playing it about 4 steps past the grass. 1 out, and Fermin is even 1-1. Felix hit .276 in his short stint with the Pirates last year in 43 games as Jimmy Davenport, the third base coach, slaps on a sign. Doc Edwards has been known to try a few plays. Ground ball up the middle. It'll be a base hit. 1 will score, and Allenson will score also. So the little man, number 9 in the order, walks the first time and comes up and gets the base hit that gives the Indians 2 runs, and there's the danger of playing in.
Yep. Well, I don't think he'd have gotten it anyway, but he just punches at the ball. Tough man to strike out. And he just hits that in the right spot. Boy, that was a high pitch right over the mound. What's this?
Look at his hand. Look at the hands. Look at this. The way he had his hands. There's a split. It was like the Ty Cobb stand. You know, there's a little bit of a split between the 2 hands as he choked up on that one. Well, the Indians take the lead 2-0 here in the top of the 5th inning. 2 runs, 4 hits, no errors, no runs, a hit, and no errors for the Yankees. We go to the top of the order, and Odabe McDowell. You bring the infield in and you take a chance, and sometimes it works. Sometimes a 250 hitter becomes a 300 hitter. Fermin on first, McDowell 1-0. Just snips the outside corner. Odabe has struck out twice, once in the first and another time in the 3rd inning. Leiter 1-1. Up till now, Leiter has been able to come up with the big pitch when he's needed it. Odabe used to wear the 0. He came over and said, I'm going to scrap it, start anew, and I've got number 20 now. There goes Fermin, foul back. Felix was kind of looking over as he left that time after being picked off trying to steal last time. He wanted to make sure something was on. 2-2, 1 out. Indians lead it 2-0 in the top of the 5th. No go and strike 3. Mr. Leiter looks all business right now.
Oh, he really pitched him beautifully that time.
Perfect strike.
Odabe said, I couldn't hit that even if I wanted to. Good pitch.
2 down. Brings up Jerry Brown. Brown flied to left his first time up. Flied to center his first time up, and then struck out. Became the 6th victim of Al Leiter in the 3rd inning. Pops this one to center as well. Carries as Kelly goes back 20 feet in front of the warning track and has it. But the Indians come up with 2 big runs in the 5th inning. The Yankees going to go to swinging in the bottom of the 5th. The Indians 2 and the Yankees nothing. Back at Yankee Stadium, we'll go to the bottom half of the 5th inning. The Indians leading it by a score of 2-0. Greg Swindell has allowed only 1 hit through the first 4. It'll be Gary Ward, Don Slaughton, and Tom Brookins trying to do some damage here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Fans here at the stadium in a festive mood. They just had the old dot racing on the scoreboard. Scooter picked a winner again. That's one of the new innovations in baseball in the 1980s.
But George, make it clear that I did not bet. I just picked the winner.
I saw you bet Dulio 2 Cracker Jacks on that. What do you mean? You've done pretty good. You threw a whole box of Cracker Jacks already. We're just halfway through.
Well, you got to have roughage.
Strike 1 to Gary Ward. The Yankees have some roughage tonight so far in the personage of Greg Swindell right there. Last year, started off like a ball of fire, 6-0, 10-1, and then from there he ended up 18-14. And he said, in fact, in the offseason when he was negotiating his contract, everybody in this day and age is looking for incentive clauses. He said, I don't want an all-star incentive. I just want to go out and pitch. Last year there was a lot of talk that because he had an all-star clause, incentive clause, that he was pressing. And then when the all-star time came, by the time he got past May, things just fell apart for him. He said, look, I just want to concentrate on winning every time I go out. Got even at 2-2 to Gary Ward. A young man who slowly but surely is learning how to pitch. Going to be one of the bright stars of the 1990s in the American League. And he gets Gary Ward. Ward strikes out for the second time. He did it on 3 straight pitches his first time up, and this time Swindell busts him with the 2-2 pitch.
It's the only 2 strikeouts he has, too. He took a little bit off, but the Ward's turning his head off the pitch. Usually pops that ball to right field.
The answer to the question, as you see Swindell blow on his hands, yes, the umpires have allowed the pitchers to blow on their hands tonight because it's a little cold at Yankee Stadium. Brings up Don Slaughton.
Who asked that question, George?
I saw somebody up in Poughkeepsie. I heard him. Either that or I think it was somebody at Don Mattingly's bar out in Indiana.
Oh. What's the name of it?
They're on the Don Mattingly's.
That's pretty good.
Big screen there. Great place. Great baseball town.
You been there?
Oh, sure. It's great basketball out there.
I know. I mean the Mattingly's.
No, I haven't.
Oh, okay. I know you've been out there. I know how great it is basketball.
Don said you have a standing invitation, though, if you ever get out there.
Don?
Yeah, whenever you want to go.
Okay.
2-1 to Slaughton. Foul back. We're even at 2-2.
I always liked Indianapolis. I played there in the American Association 2 years.
Evansville. All through that area. It's great.
Yep.
Indiana's a great basketball state this time of year. Swindell tries to catch that inside corner on Slaught. Can't do it, and we're full at 3-2. Boy, talking about basketball, Isaiah Thomas broke his hand last night. And he's going to be out for the regular season.
You see who he was fighting?
I know.
Cartwright. Yeah, he's 7 foot tall.
Fouled out of play along the right side.
I thought it'd be Adrian Dantley who had made no bones about wanting to fight him. And Thomas was the one that got him traded from Detroit to Dallas.
They called Bill Cartwright Gentle Bill when he was here.
He's a nice guy.
You don't expect him to get in a fight.
Nope.
3-2, 1 out. Slaught fouls it off again. Donnie Slaught had a banner year offensively last year until the groin injury really slowed him up.
Yep.
And the catching coach for the Yankees this year, Pat Corrales, said a lot of that injury he thought was due to the way Slaught was positioning his feet. Pop into short right field. Will it drop? It does, and the Yankees have their second hit of the evening. Corrales has spent a lot of time working with Slaught, and it's paid off so far. He's been much better at throwing out runners. Last year he had one of the poorest records throwing out runners in the league. This year he's been one of the best so far.
Yep.
Inside out swing. Just got enough of it. He was jammed, but as long as it hits green, he'll take it. 1 out, bottom of the 5th inning. The Indians lead it by a score of 2-0. Slaught on first. Tom Brookins coming to the plate. Brookins has a lot to shoot for in right center field. Snyder's playing him about even. Carter's pulling a little bit towards left field. Tommy flied out to right field his first time up. We're even at 1-1. You can see Carter just a shade towards left and way over there. Where is he? There he is. See, you got some room? See if Brookins can get it. Swindell checks him back. Foul back and out of play.
Oh, he had a good pitch right there.
Well, the stadium looks beautiful, doesn't it, Scooter?
Yep. Ground crew's done a tremendous job again.
Boy, they resodded last October. The grass looks great. Repainted as always. 1-2 to Brookins. Up high, 2-2. And even the hallways up in the mezzanine, I took a walk around early today, came in. It's just sparkling. So nice and clean and fresh. Nice clean paint job. Billy Squires and his crew have done a great job. 3-2. We're full with 1 out. Slaught looks over at third base coach Lee Elia to see what's on. Brookins a good control hitter with the bat. There goes Slaught. Hammered. Perfect to short. Slaught will try to go to third. And he'll get there. Runners at first and third.
Boy, that was an example of a perfect hit and run play, George. You hit the nail on the head. Just Furman moving a little bit to his left would have been an easy double play ball, but he couldn't get back in time. And you got to do something to shake it up, score some runs. Watch this. High chops down on it, and Furman trying to go to his left, then come back, couldn't do it.
And give Brookins credit too, because normally you've got to watch to see, is the second baseman covering or is the shortstop covering? If the second baseman's covering, that ball would have been a lot easier to hit to right.
Yep.
He had bat control, was able to get the ball on the ground to the left. Tom Brookins is a valuable guy to have on a ball club. First and third, 1 out. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning. The Indians lead the Yankees 2-0, getting 2 in the top half of the inning, and Espinosa comes up. Espy would like nothing better than to get a hit and an RBI for his wife Stella, who's in from Venezuela visiting. He's going to be here for a couple of weeks. When he found out he made the club, he says, come on, you're coming up and spend a couple of weeks with me. Slaught is on third. Brookins on first. Espinosa tries to go the other way and fouls it off. He's in the hole, 0-2. There's another situation where if you can get ahead on the count, maybe you can put something on. 0-2 really takes away any opportunity that you have to put a play on. And Swindell tries to bear down as he checks behind to see who will be covering in the event of a ground ball back to the mound. 0-2. Just inside. That roll you see on Greg Swindell isn't his body. He's in pretty good shape, but he's wearing a heavy underjersey tonight. It is a little chilly here. 1-2. The count remains to Espy. George Grant along with Phil Rizzuto here at Yankee Stadium. The Yankees against the Cleveland Indians. Our compadre Tom Seaver on assignment tonight. He went down to do the game down in Atlanta, the Brave game against the Dodgers. I don't think they ever got on here.
No.
It snowed and rained and everything else down there.
Called it very early. Oh.
Swindell busted in on Espinosa. With 2 outs, it'll leave it up to Roberto Kelly. Swindell needed a big pitch, and he gets it.
Boy, he handcuffed him right in with a little quick slider, and that's the time you need Put that on the ball, just on a ground or a fly ball to get that 1 run in.
Third strikeout for Swindell. Roberto Kelly, who started off like Secretariat, going to the wire in game number 1 with 4 hits, including a double and a home run, has had trouble getting out of the starting block since then. He's 0 for 1 tonight, flying out to right field. Needs a bingle here. Let's see, are we calling a balk or do we call time? Time call. Second base umpire Bill Ford said time was called first. 2 down to Roberto. Strike 1.
Roberto's taking that fastball and he's having problems hitting the breaking pitch.
You have a 4 for 4 night, you think you can hit anything. After you go a couple of days without a hit, you start thinking and second guessing.
And you press.
Yeah. Allenson and Swindell off sync a little bit on their signs. Recheck, and with 2 down and an 0-1 count to Roberto Kelly, Swindell goes back to work. Slaught is on third and Brookins on first. Breaking ball. Misses. 1-1. Brookins inches off first, not going.
Ooh.
Just catches the corner. Strike 2, 1-2.
Looked like Roberto was looking for the breaking pitch again. He takes the fastball.
Nice pitch.
Yep. Good strike, but he's looking for that.
That's the old fanny mover.
Roberto's going to have trouble if he keeps looking for that ball away and then they keep throwing it inside.
Did you change your hitting philosophy? Did you choke up or did you just change your philosophy when you were 2 strikes?
You know, I choked up a little bit. All I want to do is make contact.
A lot of players don't today.
No, I know.
Comes in tight again, and that's the pitch that they've given him trouble with so far tonight. 2-2, 2 out. We're in the bottom of the 5th. Indians lead the Yankees 2-0, but the Yankees have something on the burner. And they turn the heat up, 1st and 3rd with 2 out. Foul back again. Roberto's hanging tough. Dallas Green, the Yankee manager, would like to see some runs on the board. Ground ball, might have trouble. Gets it.
Heads up play by O'Brien.
Pete O'Brien didn't waste any time going after that, because if the second baseman had to get it, it would have been trouble. O'Brien, one of the best in the business, over at the number 3 slot. The score at the end of 5 innings, the Indians 2 and the Yankees nothing. We are now going to pause for station identification.
All right, we're back. Yankees trailing 2-0, but we've got some upcoming WPIX telecast. There it is. On April 11th, 2Z against Toronto here at the stadium. On April 14th, Friday, against the Minnesota Twins at 7:30 here at the stadium. And Monday, April 15th, at Toronto, 7:30. I don't believe, George, that new Dome Stadium is going to be ready for the first trip in there.
Not till June. They'll be ready in June. Second time through, we should see it. It's beautiful. I saw it last winter. Wasn't completed, but it's an outstanding facility. Joe Carter up against Al Leiter. Line drive just past Brookins into left field for a base hit.
If you see John Moore, tell him I'm not going up in the first. It's too cold in
that was my next question. I do hope you're going to make the plane with me.
I had visions of working in the dome.
Let's take a look at Tommy Brook and see how close he gets to it. A Nureyev move, but without the ball to top it off. Tommy Brookins can play a good third base, can play some short if you need it, and play some second if you need him there too. Carter hit that ball hard. He looks like he picked right up where he left off last October. 27 stolen bases a year ago, so he can pick one up there for you, too. He stole 84% of his bases last year, 80% for his career. So, you know, when Carter goes, it's pretty much money in the bank. He stays. O'Brien takes a breaking ball outside.
And Leiter gave him the short kick, so in case he was going, they had a shot at him. But by the way, don't compare anybody to Nureyev. Have you ever seen Nureyev? I saw Nureyev in the ballet. He is unbelievable.
Gets this call, and we're even at 1-1. Boy, you talk about athletic ability.
Yeah, that's it. He would make Michael Jordan look like he's got cement in his feet. He can stay up in the air for about 20 seconds.
Slam dunk.
Yep.
I tell you, I think Michael Jordan, with some practice, can do what he does, too.
Oh, yeah. He's unbelievable.
The great athletes can do just about anything. 1-1 count to Pete O'Brien. Leiter needs to bear down here. We're in the top half of the sixth. The Indians got 2 in the top of the fifth to lead it 2-0. 2-5-0 for Cleveland, 0-3-0 for the Yankees. Al Leiter to Pete O'Brien. There
oh, that's
Carter.
a balk.
They picked him again.
Oh, that was a balk. Absolutely.
And the balk is called.
Oh, yeah, that's too bad. He was going to go to the plate, and he saw him go, and he stepped towards the plate and threw to first base. It was very obvious. If he'd have given that quick move that time, he'd have nicked him, but a big kick.
Larry Barnett feeling a little bit of heat from the fans here, but you judge for yourself.
That's how high. Then he goes.
There he goes. He even falls over a little bit.
You see Steve Carter? Hey, he balked. He did.
Good call by Mr. Barnett. Espinosa bluffs Carter back. Line drive, soft liner to left. It's in for a base hit. Carter should score on this. He does. And the Indians lead 3-0. Good bat work by O'Brien that time. The little things make a difference.
They sure do.
You can see Al Leiter. You know, sometimes if you're a pitcher, it hurts when you do notice if somebody's going, because you're already committing yourself.
Yeah.
You're almost better just to concentrate on the
Go
plate.
right to the plate. Yep. Surprised he used that big kick move, because he has been pitching a lot with the short kick.
Billy Connors has worked with this club, all of the pitchers, to shorten up their moves. Corey Snyder up now. Runner on first. Foul down the third base line.
I think that's the first ball that Corey Snyder has hit off Leiter tonight.
First 2 times he struck out, once in the second, again in the fourth on high fastballs, had him fishing for him. But you make a mistake to Corey up there, and you'll be fishing it out of the drink off the left field wall. Just foul again. It seems like Al may have lost a little velocity at this time from where he was early in the game.
At least that last one was a changeup. I'm surprised. He mentioned he was getting Snyder on that high, hard one. He's got to come in with that one now.
Tough part of the order here. Carter, O'Brien, Snyder, and Medina all swing the bat well. Willie Connors looks on as Snyder takes ball 1. 1 and 2, nobody out. The Indians have 1 in here in the top of the 6th, lead at 3-0. O'Brien not going. Foul back off the first base side. O'Brien not expected to be a threat to steal, and with a 1-2 count, you don't expect anything on. But when you got a 3-run pad, sometimes you do things that you normally wouldn't do.
I don't think with Snyder they do it, though, because we mentioned he strikes out so much.
With O'Brien or Carter, you can. With Snyder, you're hoping for the long ball.
Yep.
One and 2 to Corey Snyder. Al Leiter, nobody going. Even at 2-2. Snyder was 0 for 4 yesterday, 0 for 2 today with 2 strikeouts. He's like a time bomb ticking. Streaky hitter. Pops him up, but it should get the stands. Al Leiter goes today, and then tomorrow at Yankee Stadium, weather permitting. Hopefully the rain will come and go by then. It'll be Tommy John going for the second time this year against Tom Candiotti. Candiotti is scheduled to be the starter. Had some arm troubles and was scratched from his start earlier this week when it rained. He hopes to go tomorrow. Leiter checks back at him.
There'll be a lot of 75-mile-an-hour fastballs and knuckleballs in that game.
And here's what we were talking about the other night. Billy Connors giving signals to Don Slaught for the pitch. The philosophy on the staff is, if you want some help, look over. And we'll give it to you. If you're comfortable with what you're calling, go ahead and call it. But if you want some help, and I'll tell you, Pat Corrales right next to Billy Connors worked so closely with Don Slaught so far. Gets him. Snyder goes down for the 3rd time, and the 8th strikeout for Leiter tonight. Same pitch. Number 9 on the night.
I was glad to see that. He kept throwing them low and off-speed pitches. He was at least fouling them and get them up high. He looked so bad on all 3 of them.
Leiter to Medina now with 1 out. You know, that's one of the keys. If you have somebody in a position where you think you can get him out with a pitch, you don't throw it to him every time. You throw it to him when you need it.
Yep.
And he didn't throw it to him until he needed it with 2 strikes. Smart call. And Leiter delivered, too. Don't you think Pat Corrales knows that?
Oh, yeah.
What a tough catcher he was, boy. From Los Angeles, grew up in Fresno, now lives in Atlanta. 1-0. Now, this isn't any cakewalk either, because Medina can put a charge into the ball. Read those signs. Slaught wants to check with Larry Barnett over at first base. Didn't go.
No, it wasn't even close.
Body moved, but the hand stayed back. 3-0, 1 out. Runner at first. There's strike 1. The look from our center field vantage point at Espinosa and Sachs, who split the infield, and Roberto Kelly, who's straight away against Medina. Henderson, relatively deep in left. Jams him. And we're full at 3-2. Set the defense. You see Kelly straight away, and over in right field, Gary Ward shading a little bit towards the line. There is some alley room here for Medina. You figure Leiter to come in tight with a 3-2 count and 1 out. He does, but it's too tight. Mr. Leiter didn't like that call. So we've got first and second, 1 out. Brooke Jacoby will come up. Ooh. Looked even better on the replay than it did live.
Billy Connors going out. Nobody up in the Yankee bullpen. hope they're not checking on a blister on him.
It was last year that Leiter started off so strong in the first month of the season, then from there lost some rhythm, got a blister on his finger, and spent the rest of the year trying to play catch up. More than anything, just an attitude check, I think. Settle him down.
Yeah.
I think he noticed too the reaction of Al Leiter when that was called ball four. Probably had a legitimate bark that it was a strike, but this is no time to get flustered and let it bother you. You're still in the ball game, 3-0. First and second, and get out of this with a double play ball right here, although they are not holding the runner on first. Mattingly playing behind at first base. In the dirt, nice play by Slaught. Saved scoring position that time to Don Slaught.
He's moving so well. You can see the work paying off that they've worked with him. It's a tough pitch to block. He gets the body in front of it. Even though he runs by the ball, the runners had stopped.
You know, I think what's happened in this day and age with the big gloves that the catchers are using sometimes, they have forgotten the footwork. They think they can catch it like a first baseman. 1-0. Just a little inside.
He really hasn't been given the light of the inside part of the plate.
Jacoby singled in the second inning and then walked in the fifth inning. Later scored on the double by Allenson. And after the double by Allenson and the base hit by Fermin. Fermin, the little man in the number 9 position, has 2 RBIs. That is what got the Indians on the board. They now lead it 3-0 here in the top half of the 6th. They've added their 3rd run.
We got action in the Yankee bullpen.
3-1. Leiter, after getting ahead most of the way. The horse, Dale Mahorsik, is up in the bullpen. High ball 4. So the bases are loaded with 1 out now.
That's all. It's going to be all for Leiter, too. Dallas Green coming out. Second trip to the mound.
Dale Mahorsik will be coming in to relieve Al Leiter. And with the pitching change, while it's being made, let's pause on the Yankee Television Network for station identification. Back at the stadium, Al Leiter, after being taken out, there's Billy Connors, the pitching coach, talking to him. That's the essence of what this Yankee staff is doing here. There's instruction going on, there's talk going on. Nobody's being exiled, and I think Billy wants to make it clear that there is a dialogue, and you talk to me, I'll talk to you, and the education continues of a young, promising pitcher tonight. That'll bring up Allenson, bases loaded, to face Mahorsik. Dale is the man that figures to get a lot of innings in middle and late relief. He likes the ball, likes to come and get it, wants it, and with the staff this year figures to get it. 1 ball, no strikes, 1 out, bases loaded, top of the 6th. As a right-handed batter, Mahorsik looks like a bull coming at you from third base sometimes when he drops down a little bit. Came in and helped Tommy John to victory number 1 in that opener out in Minneapolis. Looks strong. The Yankees won the opener in the Twin Cities. 1-1, 1 out. Time call. There's Petey O'Brien over at third base. Standing at second base is Medina, and over at third, Brooke Jacoby, the second consecutive walk given up by Al Leiter before he left the game. Here's Mr. Allenson. Ground ball. Nice play by Mattingly. Can he get it? Nice play, but bad throw. 1 run will score. 2 runs will score. Brookins covers the plate, and that's all they'll get.
He made a great play getting to the ball and trying to throw from a kneeling position, and his foot went out from under him and it almost threw it into the stands. What a tough break.
I'm not as much worried about the foot as I am the back. With a play like that, boy, that tested it to the utmost. What a tremendous effort to get to the baseball. And look at it yourself. Rolls, comes up.
Tough, really tough. Well, he's such a great athlete.
Allenson will be credited with a base hit and an RBI on that, and then Mattingly will be credited with an error on the throw to allow the second run to score. So it's a base hit and then an error for Mattingly. There's a bloop hit into center field that will score 2 more. And Mr. Fermin comes up with 2 more RBIs to total 4 for the night. Just place the bat on the ball.
That's tough. That hurts the earned run average of Al Leiter if he's charged with 6 runs.
And you really can't say that either ball hit off Mahorsic was hit with authority. The first one was a dribbler. The second one was, excuse me. Brings up Oda B. McDowell with Fermin over at first base now. Al Leiter worried more about leaving the game than about the earned run average right now, but still concerned about a 7-0 lead for Cleveland now. Ground ball to Sachs. Mishandles briefly, gets it over, and too late over at first base. Stevie Sachs tried to get it out of the glove. It stuck a little bit, got the lead runner, but that lost the opportunity for the twin killing.
Espinosa made this closer than it should have been. You see the trouble he's having getting out of it. It's a lot on it. Just misses McDowell.
Remember, McDowell runs pretty well, too.
Yep.
Jerry Brown from the left side now with the Indians leading 7-0. 7 runs, 7 hits, no errors for the Indians. For the Yankees, no runs, 3 hits, and 1 error. The hitting star so far in this game for the Indians, Felix Fermin. They had an RBI single to knock in 2 in the 5th and 2 more RBIs here in the 8th. It is the biggest night he's had offensively in his career as Lee Guterman warms up in the Yankee bullpen. Played in about 40 games last year with the Pirates. Never really had a great offensive night, but tonight the 2 singles have struck gold for him. 1-1 to Jerry Brown. Brown 2 for 5 yesterday, and so far today 0 for 3. Mahorsic checks back to McDowell over at first base. One. This game went like a rocket for the first 4 innings. The last 2 have ground to a slow pace as the Indians get 2 in the 5th, 5 more here in the 6th, and lead at 7-0. That one gets the outside corner. We're even at 2-2. 2 down. Top of the 6th. Slapped down the third base line and foul as Brown breaks his bat. Will go back for another piece of lumber.
He looks like a better hitter left-handed. It's more comfortable up there.
I wouldn't want to face Mahorsic right-handed coming at you.
No, that's right.
Now, it's funny. How many bats did you used to have ready if you broke one? Do you have 2 or 3 bats ready?
Oh, yeah, always. But we were only allowed 6 bats. Yeah, in those days. You broke all those 6 during the season, you had to borrow somebody else's. There they are, that's the bat rack. Now you get an unlimited supply.
Everybody has a deal with one of the bat makers. McDowell back safely at first. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Jerry Brown up facing Dale Mahorsic. We're in the top of the 6th. The Indians getting 5 in this inning, lead 7-0. Fly ball, right center field. Can Ward or Kelly get to it? Roberto's there and has it. The Yankees finally nailed down this inning, but before it's over, the Indians come up with 5 big runs. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Indians 7, the Yankees nothing. Is there a more beautiful city in the world? Doubtful, especially when you look at the skyline at night. New York City, the Big Apple. Boy, that camera's something, isn't it?
It really is something.
We're going to send you up there with it one of these nights. Would you like to go up there?
Uh-uh. Yeah, that's high. What?
And there's one of the most picturesque girders that we've seen in a long time, I think. And where do we end up? Another bit.
It's above the upper deck. Look at that, huh?
Before you ask the question at home, there is no person up there. It's a remote camera. What a beautiful shot. One of the innovations that WPIX brings to this 1989 season. And Ricky Henderson will lead it off for the Yankees. Seems like it was about 2 days ago the last time a Yankee was up, doesn't it?
Yep. Last inning and a half took as long as the first 5 innings.
The Yankees with 1st and 3rd and 1 out in the 5th, but couldn't push one home. We'll try to start again here in the 6th. See if the long wait for Greg Swindell might affect him a little bit. He's been in a groove so far. The Yankees have no runs, 3 hits. Don Slaught talking to Al Leiter. Frank Howard walking in front of him. Fly ball center field. It'll stay in the ballpark. Carter slips, but then comes back to it. We told you that the outfield's a little bit wet. Joe says, I got away with that one.
He placed the divot.
Ricky not a happy camper right now. He thought he had his pitch.
There's a happy man.
Look at Carter again. The left foot slips out, but a good enough athlete to recover. I'll bring up Steve Sachs. Ricky was 0 for 1 with a walk, and Sachs grounded to second his first time up. And then for one of the few times in recent memory, grounded into a 4.63 DP his second time up. And we're quickly even at 1-1. Swindell looked very impressive his first time out this year on opening day. And he's looked equally impressive tonight. Sachs looking for his first hit in the series. Pops this one to right field. It continues to carry. Will it go? It's gone!
Holy cow. That wind, as you said, is blowing a gale now out there to really fool Snyder.
And for Steve Sachs, a smile.
A smile. And fans, you know what happens every time a Yankee hits a home run? Hey, Steve Sachs, this bud's for you. And there's something about breaking up a shutout.
For Steve Sachs, the last time he hit a home run was on May the 26th. He had 2 last year for the Dodgers on May the 26th. Didn't hit one for the rest of the year. But here, that swing to the right side, and Snyder thinks he's got a shot at it, just about the same way Roberto Kelly's was yesterday. And Kelly got a glove on it. Snyder couldn't get up on that one. And the wind that continues to swirl and swerve from right to left and left to right helped that high fly ball reach the stands. And the Yankees on the board. 7-1. Mattingly 1 for 2, grounded to short his first time up, single to right his second time up. Takes ball 3.
Now the Indian bullpen's going to get some action, so maybe that delay did hurt him, George.
Don Mattingly says, let me go ripping while I got the chance. This time of year, 3-1, foul back, no play for Allenson. This time of year in ballparks all over the country, the wind is different. You know, it's different here now than it'll be in July. And it's true in almost every ballpark. Up in the bullpen, the big guy, Keith Atherton. Remember the last time you saw him, he was wearing a Minnesota Twins. There's a line drive, right center field. Mattingly will have 2. And the Yankees have something cooking here in the bottom of the 6th. So for Don Mattingly, who was 0 for 3 with a walk yesterday, he so far is 2 for 3 tonight. A single and a double. Good sign.
Both line drive base hits to right center. He's up there with the league leaders every year in doubles.
Sweet.
Sweet, because tonight his bat is level, not that uppercut swing.
Mark Wiley out to talk to Greg Swindell.
Yeah, this is just a visit. We'll give him a few more chances out there.
Atherton continues to warm up in the bullpen, and home plate umpire John Hirschbeck going to come out and say, let's break up the sewing circle, guys. That'll bring up Steve Balboni. Balboni hit the ball pretty hard to center field his last time up. Grounded back to the pitcher his first time up on a check swing. Hits a 3-1 pitch for a double. Sachs hits a 1-1 pitch for his first home run in almost a year, since May the 26th of last year, and the Yankees are starting to get things cooking. They need a few. There's Balboni. High, ball 1. Field. Will it stay fair?
No.
Foul ball, strike 1. Joe Carter, the center fielder. A little bit of John with O.B. McDowell out in left field. 1-1, 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. The Indians lead the Yankees 7-1, 7-8-0 for Cleveland, 1-5-1 for the Yankees. Swindell in the dirt. Mattingly stays, though. Good job by Allenson. This one bounds just in front of the plate, about 2 feet in front, so it was almost like a hop, not a short hop. Allison's got the bulk to block it, too.
Yeah, he's big enough.
Swindell back inside. Ball 3. 3-1, you have a pitch to play with. Does Balboni set himself for the fastball?
Yes.
It went ripping, too. 3-2, full count. Number 50. Said he's always had a 5 in his number wherever he's been. The only number left with that in it was 5-0, and he took it when he came back to New York. 3-2, 1 out. Mattingly on second. Got it.
Bell's only had 4 strikeouts, but 2 of them have come when he needed them.
Last inning with runners at first and third, and this inning with a run at second base. Nice pitch. Brings up Gary Ward. Ward on the night, speaking of strikeouts, struck out on 3 straight pitches in the second, and then was K'd on a 2-2 pitch in the 5th inning. Mattingly on second, 2 outs. 2-0 to Gary Ward. The Yankees have gotten 1 run home here in the bottom of the 6th on Steve Sack's home run to right field. Mattingly doubled right after him, and hoping Gary Ward can pick him up. To Ward, line to right, but Snyder is there, and the Yankees strand 1. At the end of 6 at the stadium, Greg Swindell in control. The Indians lead the Yankees by a score of 7-1 on the Dodge scoreboard. The score at the end of 6, the Indians leading New York 7-1. The Yankees host the Indians again tomorrow afternoon at 1:30, and you still have a chance to get your full-color Yankee calendar. All fans at the stadium tomorrow will take home a Yankee calendar, compliments of Ivory Soap. The Toronto Blue Jays will be at the stadium on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday nights at 7:30. Then the Minnesota Twins come to town and close out the opening homestand with a 3-game weekend series. April 14th at 7:30, April 15th at 1:20. Remember, 1:20 in new time, and Sunday, April 16th at 1:30. All fans at the game on April 16th will receive a Yankee cap, compliments of Texaco. Tickets are on sale at the stadium and through Ticketmaster. Well, we see Minnesota twice in the first month, then we don't see them again, Scooter, until August.
Yep.
We go now to the top half of the 7th inning with the Indians leading by a score of 7-1, and with the play-by-play, here's the Scooter, who will be heading that way towards the bridge shortly.
Yeah, I should be on it right now. This game a little long. Strike 1.
Got to get some runs on the board, Scooter.
Yep. Joe Carter led off last inning when they sent 9 men to the plate. Single to start off that big 5-run rally. And hits a hard ground ball. Nice play by Brookins. Low throw, but scooped out of the dirt by Mattingly. 1 away.
Well, 4 straight gold gloves tells you something about Don Mattingly. And this play tells you something about Don Mattingly, too.
How about that, huh? Like picking cherries.
Picking cherries. DeRoche didn't come up with that one, did he?
No. Pete O'Brien is 2 for 3 and fouls it back into the seats. 7-1, the Indians lead. They scored 2 in the 5th, 5 in the 6th.
We have 2 of the best first basemen in the American League here tonight, with O'Brien at the plate now and Mattingly over at first. Both complete ball players.
Yep. And the one thing that either one cannot do exceptionally well, but their other talents, is run. And as he hit that right off the ankles in the right field for a base hit, his 3rd hit of the night.
1 for 4 last night, 3 for 4 tonight. Pete O'Brien in the middle of that power strip of Carter, O'Brien, Snyder, and Medina is really providing some solidarity. They hope that McDowell and O'Brien can change their record against left and against right-hand pitching last year. Last year they were under 500, 57 and 65 against right-hand pitching.
Snyder's had a rough night. He's happy to see light a leave. He struck out all 3 times he batted against Al.
Nice play in the stands as the fans react to that foul ball. 20,369 at the stadium tonight.
Hardy group here with the weather the way it is. Strike 2.
They're hopeful that things will be a little warmer tomorrow afternoon for the afternoon game. Tommy John against Candiati.
One ball, 2 strikes, 1 man out.
Corey Snyder spent the night in the hole. Struck out his first time, struck out his second time, and struck out his third time on a 2-2 pitch. The Yankee pitchers have been ahead of him all night long.
In the hole, a base hit. O'Brien will hold at second.
I hate to lose him, man, but especially when you go 0-2 on him and then lose him.
Yep.
Snyder just reached out to get that one.
It looked like he had extra long arms on that one, but Mahorsic just doesn't have that little extra to get it by him up high. Here's Medina, struck out fly to center and walked.
7 runs, 10 hits for the Indians, 1 run, 5 hits for the Yankees.
Oh, he jammed him that time. That foul Nick Slaught. Hit him. Ooh.
Not once, but twice.
Yeah, hit the glove and then bounced off and hit his right wrist. And a base hit to right field. Soft enough to let O'Brien score.
They have a play at third.
Oh, looks like Ward's got a sore arm. 3 consecutive base hits, an RBI, and it's now 8-1 in favor of the Indians.
Lee Guterman still up and by now warm as Dallas Green comes out to the mound. And I would anticipate we'll see Mr. Guterman.
He must be upset because he got a right-hand batter and a right-hand pitcher. He's bringing in a left-hand pitcher to pitch to a right-hand hitter. So Dallas Green has seen enough of Mahorsic tonight.
One thing that's clear, though, this year, that there doesn't appear to be a doghouse on this ball club. You know, some ball clubs have a doghouse.
Oh, a lot of them, yeah.
Some don't. And in this particular year, to this point in time, there hasn't developed one yet. And I know this coaching staff is of the belief that there shouldn't be one.
All right, while the pitching change is being made, let's pause for station identification.
35, Lee Guterman.
Action, sports action, Knicks, Rangers, Virginia Slims tennis, boxing, and now the Yankees. MSG Network. Look to us for greatness.
Back at Yankee Stadium, the new Yankee pitcher, Lee Guterman, during the course of the early going so far this year, has pitched 2 innings, given up 1 hit, no walks, and 1 strikeout. From the left side, Lee Guterman comes in relief of Dale Mahorsic. The Indians with 2 runs in the 5th inning, 5 runs in the 6th inning, and now 1 more here in the 7th, lead the Yankees by a score of 8-1. And Guterman will face Brooke Jacoby with 1 out here in the top of the 7th inning.
All right, Jacoby tonight has singled, walked twice, scored a couple of times. 8-1, the Indians lead it. High drive to left center, but room for Kelly. Going back to tag up is Medina. And the catch is made, but he holds on. So 2 men out. Horsick went just 1 full inning. Gave up 5 hits. So far been charged with 2 runs. Or is that 3 runs? Three, right?
Correct.
9-1. Nice play by Brookins. And he throws him out. So on 2 pitches, Guterman retires the side. And in the inning, 2 runs. At the end of 6 1/2, it's the Indians 9 and the Yankees 1.
Part of the 20,000 on hand at Yankee Stadium for tonight's game with the Cleveland Indians, and tomorrow it'll be Tommy John going for his 2nd win of the '89 season against Tom Candiotti. Candy would make his first appearance if everything goes as scheduled tomorrow. He was scheduled to pitch last week in Cleveland. The game was rained out, and they didn't want to take a chance. They pulled him right before the game started anyways because his arm has been a little bit stiff. He said before the game he feels pretty good, and we're going to have Mr. Knuckleballer against Mr. Control tomorrow. There's Louis Aguayo. Mr. Warm right now. Now a utility infielder with this club. Of course, Louis spent some time here as well as Philadelphia.
All right, Don Slaught to lead it off. He's bounced a short single to center. The Yankees have just 5 hits off Swindell. Swindell allowed just 1 run in his first start, and he won. Strike 1 and 1.
If Candiotti stays healthy and comes back, it's a pretty good rotation.
Yep. Oh, up the alley. Nobody's going to get this one. It's going to roll to the wall, and it'll be a double for Don Slaught. Oh, he's going to try for 3rd. He'll make it. Carter had a little trouble picking the ball up out there. He got underneath the fence. A triple for Don Slaught. And he doesn't get many of those. Tom Brookins fly to right and single to left. Slaught out of here.
Oh, he's right on that ball. The ball gets out there and rattles around right in front of the wall, and it's pick it once, pick it twice. Now Carter has it, and by then Slaught's in pretty good shape, heading towards 3rd.
Shifted an overdrive on that one. He did pick up a little speed between 2nd and 3rd. And there's strike 2 to Brookins. Yankees wasted that scoring opportunity in the 5th inning. 1st and 3rd, and 1 out, didn't score. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Out holds at 1 and 2.
Incidentally, on the injury report, Gene Monahan, the Yankee trainer, said Ron Guidry is throwing now every other day in Florida at the camp. And so far, so good. Rafael Santana is taking treatment with Monahan and Steve Donahue here.
Struck him out.
Santana feels that he will be back next year and ready to go. Another look at some high heat that Brookins can't control. Boy, that high fastball looks so inviting. One other note, it now appears somewhat doubtful whether the Goose will come into town for a tryout with the Yankees after being released. The word first was that he would have a tryout, and now Goose is having second thoughts, and we'll have to wait another day or so before the decision is made. Stanley Jefferson will pinch hit for Espinosa.
Ladies and gentlemen, the pitch hitter,
Jefferson, a Bronx boy who also was a Con Edison kid when he was little. He and Willie Randolph.
1 for 4 so far in the early season after appearing in 3 games.
Slaughter third, 1 man out. Ball 1.
The Yankees have a situation now with Jefferson on the roster and Bobby Brower due to come off the disabled list soon, where there's a battle for that extra outfield spot.
1 ball, 1 strike.
Stanley's dad still lives over in Co-op City, and I understand if needed a lot of tickets for the exhibition game against the Mets. He said, well, people kind of wait until it warms up a little bit, then I'm sure they'll bother me.
Rip foul. Got around on a high inside pitch.
He, of course, came up in the Mets organization and went to San Diego and just did not see eye to eye with Larry Bowa when he was the manager there, and just did not feel comfortable in his stay there.
Got him. Oh, that's it. Swindell has come up with clutch strikeouts with runners in scoring position. That's his 6th strikeout, but they're 2 men out now. They had a runner at third, nobody out. Now the runner still at third with 2 out. Ooh, did that get down?
3 times strikeouts have come with runners in scoring position for him tonight.
That's the mark of a good pitcher. You can bear down, give it that little extra. And the old Lefty Gomez used to tell me that. Ball 1.
By the way, our condolences to June Gomez on the loss for Yankee fans and all of baseball of one of the finest people that ever played the game.
Out of play, 1-1. Roberto Kelly has flied to right and bounced to first.
You know, Scooter, of the people that I've known that have played the game for so many years, I think there's nobody who enjoyed the fans more than Lefty did. Similar to you around here at Yankee Stadium. Everybody comes up, everybody wants an autograph. You always oblige them. Lefty always did too.
Oh, he was great. High fly, center field. He's going to get out of the jam. Carter makes the catch, and the Yankees just another golden opportunity at the end of 7. It's the Indians 9 and the Yankees 1.
Back at Yankee Stadium, let's check the scoreboard for you in the American League. Milwaukee beat Detroit by a final score of 5-2. Dave Engel had a solo home run. And this one, August gets the win. Tanana takes the loss. And Danny Plesac gets a save, his first of the year. Kansas City beat Boston 2-1. Took them 10 innings to do it. Murphy takes the loss. Aquino gets the victory. Chicago beat Oakland 7-4. Pounded out 25 hits, both teams did in this game. 13 for the White Sox. Baltimore and Minnesota. This one now in the 6th inning, bottom of the 6th inning. We are tied 5-5. The O's got all 5 of theirs in the 2nd inning. And we are now in the bottom of the 6th, tied 5-5. Gaetti hit his first home run of the year, and Ken Herbeck hit his first home run of the year as well. Texas leads Toronto 4-2, and Seattle with Jim Abbott going against Jim Abbott of California. That's a little bit later on. Lee Guterman to face the little man who's been a big giant for the Indians tonight, Felix Fermin. Fermin has had a career night with the runs batted in. He had a 2-run single in the 5th inning and a 2-run single in the 6th inning. 4 runs batted in. He's 2 for 2 with a walk. Guterman 0-1. Guess what? 3 for 3. Good example. You don't have to swing hard, Scooter, to get base hits.
No, sir, and he's made good contact. You hit him up the middle, you're going to get a lot of base hits. That'll bring up Oddibe McDowell as we check the National League scores.
Expos beat the Mets 3-2 this afternoon. David Cone took the loss, and Harris gets the win. Rain in Cincinnati, and also rain in Atlanta. To wrap up the day, our compatriot Tom Seaver was in Atlanta for that game today, and he'll rejoin us on Tuesday night when we bring you the Yankees against Toronto. Chicago beat Pittsburgh by a final score of 5-3. Cards and Phils tied 4-4 in the 10th at San Diego and Houston. 2-1 is your count there, with Houston getting a run in the 4th to go ahead 2-1. Otoby 0 for 4 tonight. Struck out 3 times and was out on a force play. We're in the top of the 8th inning, with the Indians getting 2 in the 5th, 5 in the 6th, 2 more in the 7th, leading the Yankees 9-1. Fermin is on first. Lee Guterman, the third Yankee pitcher. Could they get 2? Brookins over to Mattingly, and they turn the 2. Brookins moving over to short as Pags comes into the game after they pinch hit for Espinosa in the bottom of the inning.
This is pretty a double play as you want to see. Guterman led Brookins perfectly here, and Brookins looks like he's been playing shortstop a long time. Look at that.
Now there's the beauty too. Scooter, you were a great shortstop. You want to get that ball early, right?
That's right. So that you throw, you see that guy go down way before he got to the bag at second.
Don't hang me up on the bag with the runner coming at you, right?
No.
Jerry Brown checks in against Guterman. Hitting again from the right side. He's been a yo-yo back and forth tonight. Started off from the right side, and then against Al Leiter was 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a pop to center field, and then flied out to center his last 2 times up. The last time from the other side, the left side, against Mahorsi. 2-1, 2 out here in the top half of the 8th inning. Indians leading the Yankees. Game 2 of the 3-game series. This one foul back. Tomorrow, it'll be Tommy John going for his 2nd victory of the year against Tom Candiotti. Sack should have this one. And Guterman gets out of the inning without any difficulty. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th inning. The Indians 9 runs, 12 hits, and no errors. The Yankees 1-6-1 with the sky view of Jerry Brown.
Participating advertisers in New York Yankee baseball are Dodge. Visit your tri-state Dodge dealer where the new spirit shows. Budweiser, Beechwood Age for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you. The Daily News, New York's hometown paper. Nobody tells it like the Daily News. And by the New York Yankees. There's little old New York again, George. And with that, we got a new pitcher out there.
There are a million stories in the big city.
Oh, yes, that was a great TV show.
And Brad Havens is one of them tonight. Greg Swindell was the big story for the Cleveland Indians. And Swindell gives way to Havens. Havens last year was 2-3 with a 3.14 ERA. Appeared in 28 games, none of them as a starter. He's out of the bullpen. 57 innings, 62 hits, 17 walks, and 30 strikeouts for Brad Havens, who you may remember prior to that was with the Dodgers before being sent down. He's been around Baltimore, Los Angeles, Minnesota. Before that, Quad Cities, Visalia. You've been a few of those places.
Yep.
Right?
They're great when you're young, but you don't want to go there when you've been up in the big leagues and head down.
Louis Aguayo has the hat concession tonight, I think, next to
you got 3 hats on, or is the bottom one?
A little bit of everything. Next to Dave LaPointe's hat collection, I think he's probably number 2. LaPointe has about 300 hats in his collection. You name it, he's got it. Ricky Henderson will lead it off for the Yankees here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Yankees just unable to get on track offensively tonight. Went into the 4th inning before they got the first hit. There's a rifle to left field, and Henderson gets things cooking here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Ricky had fouled out his first time up, walked his second time up, and then flied out to center field his third time up. The man with 5 stolen bases, singles here in the 8th inning. And that'll bring up Steve Sachs, as those remaining at the stadium try to get things moving. Sachs has accounted for the only Yankee run tonight. 1 for 3, a home run to right field, just past the reach of Corey Snyder and over the fence. Steve's first home run since May the 26th of last year, but you know, he's not going to really think that much of that unless the Yankees come back and win this one. Eddie Allenson gets it on the instep. Home plate umpire John Hirschbeck checks to see if he's okay. There's a little camaraderie between the home plate umpire and the catcher. And by the time the season's over, they've both been nicked and scratched a few times. 0-2 to Sachs. Henderson, they're playing behind him at first. Way high. O'Brien's playing about 10 feet behind Henderson over at first base. With the Yankees needing 8 runs. Ground ball to second. Brown turns it quickly. That's twice today that Sachs has hit into a double play. And I don't think that's happened. You know, it didn't happen all of last year in one game for Steve Sachs. Same thing, 4-6-3, and Brown turns it nicely. Look at the pitch.
It was hit so hard again. Both times he hit in a double play, hit the ball hard.
Haven's nobody on, but still works from the stretch. He's become basically a reliever at this stage in his career, and many relievers, even without people on base, will work from the stretch to be comfortable. Mattingly, certainly a bright spot tonight, 2 for 3. After going 0 for 3 with a walk in his first game of '89 yesterday, 2 for 3 with a base hit to right and a double to right center field. The other time up, he grounded out to short. Brings up a point, though. You're down by 8, yes, but when they play behind you, did you maybe steal that base and avoid the double play?
Yes, sir. Take what they give you. Oh.
O'Brien was there to make the nice grab, and the Yankees are retired in the bottom half of the 8th inning. On the 9X scoreboard, the score at the end of 8 innings. The Indians 9 runs, 12 hits, and no errors. The Yankees 1-7-1. Going to the 9th inning, I want to remind you that our next WPIX telecast will be Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, April the 11th, 7:30. Toronto Blue Jays against the New York Yankees. In case you missed the news last night, Tony Fernandez, the fine shortstop for the Blue Jays, was hit by a Cecilio Guante pitch in his right cheek. Suffered a concussion fracture of the right cheekbone and will be out at least 4 to 6 weeks. Bad news for the Jays. Tony really spent a good part of last year trying to get himself back into 100% physical shape and felt better this spring, and certainly was counted on as one of the keys to this 1989 club. Richard Dotson will be the new Yankee pitcher. In Minnesota, he pitched 2 innings, gave up 4 hits and 2 runs, both of them earned, including 1 home run. So That's why his ERA is up in the stratosphere of 9. The right-hander will go right at it against a man who's been a heavyweight for the Indians in this series, Joe Carter. And here's the scooter.
When Carter fouls it back, you shook me up a little there, George. I was relaxed listening to you do the game. Carter is something. You mentioned he's complete ball player. Every facet of the game he can do and do well. See if Dotson's pushing the ball or throwing it. Uh-oh, did he get all of it? Henderson back to the warning track, to the fence, and right against the fence makes the catch. Look at that grin. So Carter got one off Kelly's glove last night, but this one Henderson was able to grab and stay in the ballpark.
You know, Ricky, of course, one other time robbed Joe Carter, taking one off the fence. And when Carter was joking before the game today, when the ball that Roberto had his glove on went over yesterday, Ricky said, we'll do that a couple of more times to you, but we'll catch it next time. And he almost gets a chance to do it. I think that's one of the reasons why he's smiling so much there.
All right, here's O'Brien, who's had a good night. 3 for 4, a run batted in and scored a run. Scored 2, as a matter of fact. That's low, ball 1.
Rich Dotson is a fly ball pitcher. You'll see more fly balls when he's in there than you would see when some other pitchers are in there, but not warning track fly balls, you would hope.
Like that. O'Brien likes that ball down. Last hit he got was down around his ankles. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Carter was 3 for 5 yesterday. O'Brien is 3 for 4 today. So, boy, you look at this middle of the lineup. Carter, O'Brien, then Snyder, and then Medina. They got some pop.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Indians playing their first 19 games against the American League East.
In the hole, that'll be a base hit. Well, if he'd thrown it all straight, it would have gotten him out. I didn't think Brookins would be strong enough to throw him out on the dead run to his right. It'll be an infield hit.
Off-balance throw, but still good form by Tommy Brookins. Look at this, against the body. Gets a little bit behind it.
Right fielder, Corey Snyder.
13 hits now for there's Tommy Brookins for the Indians. And Corey Snyder has one of those 13 hits after striking out the first 3 times against Al Leiter. Leiter had 9 strikeouts while he was in there.
Not a bad night for O'Brien.
No, 4 for 5.
This is an Indian team that really feels comfortable about itself. They like their potential, and they're glad no one picked them this year, too.
Yep. And down the line, that ball is gone, a home run. So Snyder, who thought he was going to catch the home run by Sachs, gets one right down the line over the 314-foot sign. 2 RBIs. So after striking out 3 times, he gets a single and a 2-run homer. And the Indians now lead 11-1. So Dotson really his earned run average is going to skyrocket some more.
Snyder just reaches out and touches this one. Again, the wind blowing in that direction.
Yep.
At this stage right now, as that ball went up, right towards that right field corner.
14 hits. They've had only 2 extra base hits, 1 a double, and that one the home run by Snyder, fouled back by Medina.
Have you noticed the change in the wind at the stadium since they redid it?
Oh yes, absolutely. Ball never carried like that out towards that way. And you don't bother to look at the flags up above because they drive you bananas. It could be, flags could be blowing one way and the wind affecting it the other way. 2 balls and a strike. That's a scoreboard. 11-14-0. And there's one ripped for extra bases to the right field corner. Ward up with it. The throw will not be in time. And Dotson's really getting racked here. A single, a homer, a double. The screen's got to be very unhappy.
I think what Dallas is looking for now is Rich Dotson to bear down and show some fire.
Yeah, he better. Low ball one. Jacoby is single, walked twice, and fly to center field.
For Rich Dotson, who at one point figured to be in the starting rotation, he's in a position where he really needs to win that place back.
2 balls, no strikes. He just missed it. Another one in the right field seats.
There's been some talk of some interest in Rich Dotson by some other teams around the league. Let's face it, Jimmy Jones was sent down by the Yankees, but with the idea that eventually he'd be coming back up at some point in time.
A lot of people were surprised, especially Jimmy Jones, at being sent down. I was.
Yeah, I think Jimmy certainly was. But again, I think the discussion was go down, work on some of the things we've talked about. Same thing with Hippolyto Pena, because we'll need you later on.
Deep left center field. And Kelly's going to run this one down. Makes the catch. I'll tell you, Roberto can really go get him. He was shading him over in right center. Got to go deep to left center field.
Yeah, there are some people, when they play the outfield especially, that can make a run look like a long run, make it look hard to get to. Roberto has the ability to make it look easy to get to. You realize how far he went?
Yep.
They were shading him towards right field because Jacoby usually goes that way. He was playing about 10 steps towards right center field, makes the catch in deep left center field. And looks like he's on cruise control doing it. That's the same place he was playing before that ball was hit. They play Allenson and Jacoby the same way.
Allenson has struck out, doubled, singled, and bounced to third. Ball one. So even the outs have been long outs. One by Carter and one here by Jacoby. Look at this.
Pseudo for president. I tell you, there were 20,369 here tonight. I bet you they'd all vote for you.
And that one's a high fly that Kelly flips the hat off, makes the catch. Well, they come up with 2 more runs.